right there. Let's talk sports, fans. Thanks for tuning in.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday to you all. Welcome to a special Thursday night edition of One on One with AP here on the Let's Talk Sports Network. This is episode number 21. A lot to get to, especially when we get our guest in here. Daniel Berry already in the comments. What's going on, man? How you doing? We got a lot to discuss, but before we do, like we do before every show, we'll give the rundown of the week ahead. Of course, a lot of things happened, of course, this week. So for some changes, wrestling show did not take place on Tuesday. Sam had some stuff to take care of, so we're going to be doing the LTS wrestling show, or on the mat as we call it, Friday night immediately following SmackDown. So as soon as SmackDown's over, Sam and I are going to go live. So definitely check that out. That'll be 9 p.m. Central. In case anybody needs the absolute exact time. Saturday, nothing on Saturday. Obviously, this show's usually on Saturday, but we're accommodating for our guest tonight, which if you haven't seen him, definitely go check his stuff out. You know, Big Mike from the Man Cave, awesome dude. These guys do an awesome job. Can't wait to talk to him here in a sec. But and then Sunday, with the NFL schedule now coming out, an official Sunday night, we're going to do the NFC East Roundtable. Myself, Jay, Chris, and Carlos. Talk about the season. Talk about the schedules upcoming. How for some reason the NFL decided to put both Giants Cowboys matchups on Thursday. Yeah, figure that one out. But pros, cons, everything in between, and we'll give. I guess we can give record predictions as well if we decide we're up for it. So definitely check that out Sunday. But without further ado, our guest tonight, as I mentioned, he's from the Man Cave podcast, also on Northeast Streaming Sports, and even here on the LTS network as well. Joining us is Big Mike. Big Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, man? I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a good week so far. I'm ready for it to end, but it's been a good week. So, as most of America probably is at this point. So how you been? It's been a while since I've had you on. Of course, the last time I had you on, was with you and Jay, both you guys part of the Man Cave. I know Jay's been a lot more busier lately in this day and age, but you guys still keep it going, keep it rocking. How did you guys come together, and how did the Man Cave get started?
I'm from Cleveland originally. Of course, the Browns, everything. I ended up moving down towards Cincinnati a little over 2 years ago, and we met through my ex. Her best friend is his wife. And I met him. He's a head cook at a bar restaurant. And I was in there sitting, me and we're chopping it up, and all of a sudden sports just hit. And we just rambled off. And he's like, dude, man, he's like, I wish we could just do this all the time. I said, give me 2 days and we will be able to do this all the time. He's like, what do you mean? I said, just give me 2 days. And I got everything set up, got the equipment, got everything rolling. He's like, what the hell? I go, I've done this plenty of times before. I've had podcasts for years. I've done stuff. So I'm like, let's go. And we just went at it. And now it's grown into, or now we own a media business, Man Cave Media LLC. We've owned that for a little over a year now. We're going into movies and different comedy shows and music and stuff with it. We have now 5 shows that run through our channel or run through us. I actually started a new one tonight, an hour after we end here. I got a brand new show that starts, but it all just came together. It was crazy how it did, but that's how things happen.
Mm-hmm. Is it the weird kind of dynamic having a Bengals fan and a Browns fan being on the same podcast?
Sometimes, but it's great because, again, I'm down here in his territory, so like when the Browns beat up on the Bengals, I get to laugh at everybody. But yeah, me and him are pretty much, we're the same with stuff. Even when it comes to his team, I told him when Joe Burrow went down, I said maybe it's time to trade him. He got a little hurt about that, but hey, you trade into the Vikings, could have got Jefferson, and then, you'd add Browning. Been good to go.
Right.
I told him Mixon was getting traded too. Like at the beginning of last year, I said, look, Mixon's getting traded after this year. He's like, no. I'm like, yes, he is. Like, he's going to be gone. And when he was gone, he's like, dude, you called that? I said, yeah. I said, it's money. Well, he took less. I go, yeah, he took less. I go, but they got so much other stuff they're paying for right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, took less to be with a young up and coming team in the Houston Texans. So,
Yes.
I would have loved. I mean, I would have loved to see him with a star in his helmet, but we are very scarce on money right now, and that's because of the guy that wearing number 4. But I won't get into that at all. That'll be for Sunday. A lot to get into. We'll start with the NBA. Obviously, from the Cleveland area, big Cavs fan. Yes. It sucks that they got knocked out, obviously, against the top-seeded Boston Celtics. How did you feel about the Cavs this season?
We had our ups and downs, injuries. I mean, there was 2 months where we didn't lose but one game, and it was just you saw what it could be, and you're like, man, that's where it's at. Mitchell, Allen, Mobley, Garland here and there, LeVert coming off the bench. So you saw it all come together, and then playoffs, and it was just bam. Game 1, Allen gets hit in the ribs, and then game 4 gets nailed again, and he's out. And then you got Mitchell with his calf strain in the Boston series. We need another piece. And to be honest, now that this is all said and done, everybody's contemplating the whole Mitchell thing. He's really got 2 years left. He's got next year and then a player option. So whether he decides to stay for that or not, I say we trade Garland. Get rid of Garland. Trade him and our first-round pick. Go get Cade Cunningham from Detroit. A bigger guard, could play defense, loves contact. Go get him. Put him next to Mitchell. And keep that moving because I think that's what we were missing. Garland was so inconsistent. Just, I don't know. And I'm not big on Boston. If you look at it, we didn't have any superstars really at all. I mean, I don't count Garland as one. But you had no Mitchell, no Allen, no LeVert this last game. We were held our own all the way to the 4th. The game before that, we only lost by 7 with no Mitchell and Allen. I'm like, dude, Boston's not looking at it. They're inconsistent as hell in the playoffs. If they play like that against like the Knicks, especially if they play like that against any team out of the West, it's going to be problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you definitely hit the nail on that. The Cavs had maybe 1 or 2 pieces that you'd like to see get maybe switched around. I'm all for Cade Cunningham, by the way. I love that kid's very, very talented. Did see him here locally. Obviously he was at Oklahoma State for 1 year. Did see if there was he flashed a lot of that talent that he now has, and he's got potential to grow and maybe a change of scenery out of the piss hole that is Detroit. Would do him some good. Maybe put him on a winning team, see what he can do.
I'm all for that. I mean, Bobby, me and Bobby G, we were talking all this, and he threw that out, and I threw out maybe trade Garland to the Pelicans and get Brandon Ingram and some other pieces out of there with the first round pick or something. And I'm either okay with either one, but I love Cade Cunningham. Just again, he's not. He knows how to distribute the ball. He's not scared of contact. And what luck do the Pistons have? The worst record 2 years in a row, and they don't get the first pick again. It's like God just saying, nah, sorry, Detroit, never again. Never again.
We gave you 1. That's all we're giving you.
That's it. Yep. You got Cade, and you got to build without needing the draft.
And we call it, and I know you've been a part of the show too, on In the Hoop. We call it the Island of Misfit Toys in Detroit, because it seems like they have a lot of talent there, they just don't know how to use it.
Yeah, and I truly don't believe there is a coach that can reel it all in. Like, it's almost like, seriously, tear it all down, trade shit away, try to bring in some things here and there, and then start over, because I think players are starting to go at each other now. Everybody's blaming this, and what is it, Jaden Ivey and all these guys. Everybody's getting in trouble. It's just, yeah, I don't know. If I'm the Cavs, I'd go after Cade. I mean, why not?
Yeah, the situation in Detroit is about as ugly as the Giants' new throwback uniforms. Which, God,
Dude, what
ugh.
the hell? Listen, I literally just said something on somebody's tweet. I was like, they should have went and got a second, a third. I don't know how many opinions they needed to get with this shit, but why the hell did they choose this? They got the Michigan helmet with different colors. Then you got that weird, I don't know, look like superhero type.
You got the Steeler throwback Bumblebee jersey with the different color coding with the Michigan helmet, tan pants. That's the one thing that throws it off for me. Is like if you had any other color pants than tan, it would have been a little acceptable, but no.
Yeah, it's sad. That's rough, man. Real rough. That, like, I get it. They took from different years. Like the helmet was from 1933. The jersey was 1938, and the socks and pants were 1925. But dude, why don't you like bring it more relevant? Like, all right, we're gonna go back to when the times were good. We'll bring back that Giants helmet that said Giants across and that dark blue and add something into that. Not all right. We're gonna go all the way back.
We go all the way back to when the franchise was first formed.
And that's like the Bengals going back to the Dayton Triangles. I mean, come on, that's some weird shit.
That's why I'm glad we just have a simple concept: star on the helmet, everything blue. I'm cool with that. It's the one color you can't fuck up is blue, silver, and white.
Blue, silver, and white. And I love you guys with the star on the shoulder pads. I love that.
Yeah, the old throwback dark blues that had
the 90s. Yeah.
I love that. I wish they wear that more often. It's better than the stupid blue jerseys that they have to wear.
Definitely. 100%.
Yeah, the dark. Nobody likes those dark blue jerseys, and of course that's a curse thing here in Dallas. It's like every time they wear the blue jerseys, they suck. So that's why when home teams usually have the option to choose the which jersey they wear, they usually wear the away jersey. So we have to wear. Which I don't know if that's going to happen in week 1, but you know we'll wait and see. Speaking of which, Cowboys Browns week 1. I'm loving that matchup because I feel like it's going to be a defensive slugfest. I don't know about you, but I think both offenses could potentially struggle. Obviously, with it being week 1, both offenses could struggle out of the gate. You have two of the best defenders in the league in Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons on opposite ends.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a defensive guru's, wet dream, so to speak, in this game.
It is going to be nuts defensively. I mean, and then Dak, you got CeeDee Lamb, but you got like no running backs. It seems like I couldn't believe you guys signed Royce Freeman like that. That like blew my mind. I'm like, why are we bringing this dude back?
They brought Zeke back too. So
Zeke, hey, cool. Bring Zeke back for purposes of he was there, maybe resurge a career, and then he retires. Not, hey, we're gonna call up Royce Freeman sitting somewhere and see what's up. I didn't understand that. And then you got the Browns, Deshaun Watson. No one knows what the hell is gonna happen here. Is he gonna come back looking like Baltimore game, or is he gonna come back looking like trash before that? We have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the offense is primed and ready. You got Judy, Cooper, Njoku, Ford, Deontay Foreman, Himes. You got the offensive line. The offense is set. It's just need that quarterback, because I don't want to go through 4 quarterbacks again. I don't want to like, even though we made the playoffs 11-6, did all that, 4 quarterbacks. I mean, that was the craziest shit ever. Bringing people from outside. Hey, you're 6'6", 300 pounds. Come be on the offensive line. That was insane too.
Basically, Joe Flacco off the couch.
Yeah, and then Caldwell came in. PJ Walker said, "Hey, XFL guy, come on in here." Threw DTR to the Wolves.
It's interesting to see Cleveland kind of navigate through that season, and it pretty much was carried by their defense, if I'm being honest. Like even there's I want to say there was a game they were down. Like I think it was against the Colts, and Gardner Minshew just kind of eat them up a little bit. But then all of a sudden, Myles Garrett makes one big play, and all of a sudden the defense starts coming alive, and they make that comeback.
Oh, Myles Garrett's the reason why we won that game. The block field goal, the strip sack touchdown in the end zone. I mean, he was all over the field. I think he had 3 sacks total that game. But yeah, it was up and down. And then the defense at home, it was 10 points. That was all you're getting. And then away, though, the defense was trash on the road. Like they were giving up 20-something points, 24 points or whatever. I'm like, man, dude. So hopefully that gets shored up and Schwartz gets that handled. And again, Watson. Hopefully Watson does his thing, because if not, I think this is the year we're going to be like, see you later. You're going to go sit on the bench. Jameis Winston's going to go in. We know he's going to throw for 1,000,000 yards, 30 touchdowns and probably 20 interceptions, but at least he's going to have touchdowns and, he's going to move the offense.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you kind of saw a little bit of that when Flacco got inserted into the offense, that they started running a little bit better. Amari Cooper came to life. Even the running back duo, Hunt and Ford both got going there late in the season. Thankfully, because I had them both on my fantasy team, so awesome. I was happy about that. Looking at the Browns' schedule this year, obviously, preseason, who cares? It's just warm-up games at this point. Cowboys to start at home. There'll be Tom Brady's first game in the booth. So
a lot of media.
A lot of media attention in Cleveland, which is huge for the city. At Jacksonville, week 2, the Giants at home, at Vegas, at Washington, at Philadelphia, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Chargers. You get your bye week. Then go to New Orleans, Pittsburgh at home, at Denver, at Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Miami, Baltimore. Really, really tough stretch in the season.
Down there at the end. Yeah, that was kind of...
I believe the Browns actually have the toughest schedule in the entire league, and it's mostly because of that final stretch after the bye week. How you feeling about the schedule?
I mean, it is crazy. And like you said, it's a lot after that bye week, and a lot of that is us facing the AFC North. We got Pittsburgh twice. You got the Ravens, KC, Cincinnati. Yeah, it's us facing ourselves. And I mean, because if you looked at the strength of schedule between all the teams, the top 3, Browns, Ravens, Pittsburgh. That's the top 3. It's like, oh man, what the hell? And I understand why it is the way it is, but yeah, dude, it is tough. Everything relies on Watson, and I hate that we have to hang it on him so much. But I feel like we're going to be all right. I truly believe he's going to be all right. I think he knows this is it. He's got to prove now, because if he can't prove it now with the number 1 defense that they're giving the Browns already, with that offense and those weapons, coach of the year twice. I mean, you got a guy in Ken Dorsey that's going to allow you to do all sorts of things on offense. If you can't do it now, you're not going to start on another team again. Like, it's just not going to happen. You're going to be retired and go play in the XFL or the US FL. But I don't know. It's going to be tough, but it's not as tough as, I mean,
I'm sure another team's going to give him a shot, but with the track record and his history,
yeah, it's going to be rough. Do they want that media attention? Because it still comes. Oh, he did this. Listen, dude, he didn't kill nobody. It was all whatever it was. A lot of them women backed out of a lot of that stuff. So no one knows what truly happened. No one knows. They just speculation to it all, and he had to pay whatever he had to pay. I don't know. We're how many years removed from this? It's time to be done with that. And just let the man play the game. And if he can play it again, then he can play it again. If not, all right. Yeah, dumbass contract.
What matchup intrigues you the most?
Well, I think, again, anybody in our division is going to be It's just going to be nuts. Because I think actually the Ravens took a step back. They lost a lot of defense. You only got Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, and you add Derrick Henry, but I think they took a step back defensively, big time. But I want to see them against KC. I want that game. Like, I truly can't wait for that game. It's at home too. I think it could get flexed. I don't know, because that Monday night game is Green Bay, New Orleans, and I was like, what kind of shit is that? But yeah, KC's probably a game. Philly, Miami. But I mean, that's at home too, and we know how Miami is in the cold. The speed slows down real quick.
Mhm.
So yeah, probably those three, and then usually the division games. The home opener against Dallas is huge, just because, again, it's Dallas.
It's Dallas. It's Tom Brady's first game.
Yeah,
It's
Tom
on
Brady.
Fox.
Yeah,
It's a bright spot right on Cleveland, right out the gate.
Yeah. 425, right away, bam. Like, I was going to go to the game. I looked up ticket prices, almost damn $300 for cheap seats. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to that game.
That Cowboy money really makes it very expensive. Not
I'm
gonna
like,
lie.
what the hell? Because my son, he's a Cleveland fan, but between his stepdad and my mom, they're Cowboy fans. My mom's a Browns fan too, but they were Cowboy fans because of how they were brought up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he always became a Cowboy fan too. So he's a big Dallas fan. Period. He loves the Mavericks. He's loves Des Bryant and Dak and Zeke and all them. Like, I just got him a bunch of cards that are worth some good money. Going to give them to him for his birthday. So yeah, I would have took him to that for his birthday. That's in July. And I'm like, nah, $300 a piece. I don't know about that. It's a little crazy. I'll go up there and watch it with him or something.
Yeah, you probably get a cheap standing room only ticket, because there's a guy that I work with has been telling me that you can get standing room only in Jerry World for like $25.
Oh,
But
yeah,
the seats are like the most expensive part of the. Well, getting to the venue itself.
I might look into that, because I mean, that might be something to do. I know, that would be definitely something to do. I'll have to look into that a little bit more, because I mean, just to go, even just walk around, even if it's just for a half or something, depending on how the game goes, if it's a blowout one way or the other. But
I honestly think it's going to be a low scoring game. Like, not to get too far ahead. I think it's going to be a low scoring game, because obviously Watson's going to struggle early on. I think Dak will struggle early on, and both defenses are going to feast in that game. So,
I think so too. Yeah, I definitely feel like, like a 17-14 game or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Could even be lower than that. Could be 14-10.
17-13, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think either team's going to get to 20. If they get to 20, they'll be lucky.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for the season. Although our schedule doesn't open up that well, because obviously Cleveland first. Saints are not a bad team. They're a halfway decent team, so we got them as our first home game, and then we got Baltimore right after. So you got, within the first 5 weeks, Cleveland, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh, the three toughest teams in the AFC North, right out of the gate. So, and then the oddball, as I kind of mentioned at the beginning, the oddball part of the schedule is Giants in New York on Thursday Night Football, and then we play them on Thanksgiving at home.
Why? See, and I was pissed off about that. Why is the Giants on Thanksgiving? Why? Because it's their 100 years? Is that what you just gave them that? Like, hey, we're going to give you Thanksgiving. 100 years.
We've had them Thanksgiving 2 of the last 3 years now.
They don't need to be on Thanksgiving. They just don't. Like, I can get Green Bay or Detroit, Chicago, because who knows what Caleb Williams is going to do, what's going to happen there. I can get that game, all right? It's a division game. It'll still be good, whatever. Green Bay and Miami. I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. I just don't like the Giants and Dallas. Like, I've
been on record saying that the Giants are going to be the worst team in the NFL this year. I really do think that they will be.
the minute I heard they were speculating on starting Drew Lock, that was the end of it for me. I'm like, oh, you're not even
Mhm.
going to give Daniel Jones a chance? You're not going to give him a chance to be Danny Dimes again? Like, you just straight went to Drew Lock? You were like, we're going to get a high pick again, grab a quarterback. We're going after Beck from Georgia. Like,
See, I would have rather since the game's at home, I would have rather had Houston, Dallas on Thanksgiving. The
see,
state of
and
Texas would have gone nuts.
that would have been huge. Because that would have been huge. Damn.
That is a very bad missed opportunity. Although I believe that game is actually a Monday night game. The
So
Dallas
it's still
Houston
a
game
big
is a Monday
game.
night game.
God, see, why couldn't they just make our game? I would have loved for the Browns to play in Dallas on Thanksgiving, but we're at home, so that's the problem. But God,
Yeah,
I would
had
go with
that had that happened, it would have either been Cincinnati or Baltimore. I don't think they would have that. Neither of those teams that you would think, unless they want to see Lamar Jackson on Thanksgiving. Other than that,
Well, yeah, they played at 8:00 last year, didn't they? Weren't they on Thanksgiving last year?
yeah, they played. I believe it was
Falcons?
Pittsburgh, right? It was Pittsburgh,
Oh yeah, no, it was Baltimore and
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh. See,
Pittsburgh.
that's a good game. That's great. I don't know. I don't know.
I was gonna say, just throw the whole tradition out the window. Have Detroit, and Dallas on Thanksgiving. Just have both of those teams play each other.
Like every Thanksgiving, just them two.
Just to swap out every year. Just make it a tradition. Why not? I'm trying to think. What other? I mean, they probably would have put Philadelphia, but they obviously want that on a more marquee venue.
Man, that's what do you mean more marquee? Thanksgiving is huge. Everybody is watching.
Well,
People
CBS got the game too, so
people that don't watch football are watching football on Thanksgiving. Like that's just it's on the TV. People are sitting there talking. They'll look at the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm trying. We would do Washington, but we had Washington last year. Tampa Bay, we played Tampa on Thanksgiving before.
Yeah,
So that could have been a match. Anything would have been better than the Giants at this point.
Look, I'd have been cool with you guys playing the Falcons or something on Thanksgiving because Kirk Cousins. I think that team gets revived. They win that division, but
I think we go to we're going to Atlanta.
Oh, all right. Well, then that's why it couldn't happen.
We're going to Atlanta and we would have either been Tampa Bay or New Orleans in that division.
Maybe Tampa. But I don't
Can't have San Francisco because we're going to them. Which thank you NFL schedule maker for making that matchup right after the bye week.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. At least it's after the bye week. Get some rest to go to there.
And it's Sunday night, so extra time to prepare. So
extra time.
Sunday night after the bye week. So yeah, it's Cleveland, New Orleans, Baltimore, New York, Pittsburgh, Detroit, and then a week 7 bye, and then San Francisco right after that.
Oh, you'll know what the hell is going on with that team by then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jerry was talking all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah, he's getting very senile in his old age.
That right there tripped me out. Do more with less, and then he didn't draft the running back. Didn't go after another receiver to be on the other side of CD. I'm like, what is going on here?
I will give him credit though; he did address the biggest need that we needed when that was offensive line.
Oh yeah,
I love the Tyler Guyton pick, and I love the Cooper Beebe pick.
Well, yeah, you definitely needed that because you lost Tyron
and
Tyron went to the Jets, and then who else?
The center, Biotish went to Washington.
Yeah, see, and I'm like, dude, this is a lot of shit's happening here.
Yeah, we needed to upgrade the offensive line and also the linebacking core, I guess. So because they can't stop the run. We're shit.
Look, as a Cowboys fan, tell me how far off I am on this. This is what my thinking is with Jerry and how he's planning all this shit out. I truly believe he's setting up to have a shit year. and he's just going to get rid of McCarthy and Dak. As soon as the season's over, see you later. And he's trying to draft high quarterback. And I feel like he's going to try to talk Deion Sanders to come coach.
That is the rumor, actually. That is the rumor of what is going on in Dallas. That's what a lot of people in Dallas are feeling like, that he's tanking the season for Deion and Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur, and then you could probably get Hunter at some point too if you make the moves right. And then you could get Shiloh in the 3rd, 4th round. You have the whole crew there. Deion's happy as shit. I don't know, man. It's just, even besides all that, I still feel like it's almost like a tank move. Like, he wants McCarthy gone, but he didn't want to have to pay him and pay someone new. And he's not going to give Dak $60 million.
And here's the thing. They have the talent still to still be a playoff team. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah, I think they could, especially in the NFC. I mean, I just, God.
It's a lot of questionable decisions. Although, like I said, I did like the draft that we had.
Oh, yeah.
Even though
Jerry Jones can draft. Don't get me wrong. He knows how to draft. He knows how to pick players. He's been doing it for how long? I mean, they're not as good. Like, you guys are great at drafting, but you're not as good. Like Pittsburgh and Green Bay, they just seem, it doesn't matter what the hell they pick. Some superstar comes walking out. It's weird.
So some random 7th round pick is going to end up being a Hall of Famer somehow.
Yep. It just happens, and it blows my mind how they make that work. I mean, you like Antonio Brown. You picked him from Central Michigan. He became one of the greatest. I mean, he's until he blew his mind away, and then he just that
poor kid. And then Packers as well. They usually find some great talent late.
They always do. Yeah, Jesus. That running back they drafted, I think, is going to be great. And they know how to do it with the quarterbacks. Draft a quarterback 3 years out from the other one getting gone, and just know, here it comes. Just know the switch is in.
Yeah, that team is going to be fun to watch this year. Green Bay, I think they could potentially get a number 1 seed this year. I think,
and I'm with you. I think them and Detroit are very close in that division to me, and I think one of them two will get that number 1. I feel like the Niners might fall off some, but I feel like it's going to be one of them two that do it, and what they did last year with a bunch of nobody receivers. Nobody knew them dudes. You were just like, oh, yeah, there's this dude. Oh, yeah, who the hell's that? Where'd he come from? And Love just did.
Like we said, the Packers could draft.
Yeah, they just, holy shit, where these guys come from? And then the upgrades they made, Xavier McKinney, you added to your O-line, you added to your linebackers. I mean, the best thing they did last year was let the quarterback throw the ball. Was let him be himself. Let Jordan Love play. Let him play. And it worked wonders for them. When they beat Kansas City, I was like, oh no. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. When they beat Detroit on Thanksgiving, I was like, oh shit, dude. All right. And then a little play away from beating San Fran in the playoffs. If he didn't go cross the field and chose to run instead, I think it would have. They probably would have won that game, and we would be talking different right now because it would have been Detroit or them in the Super Bowl, and who knows what would have happened.
Packers Chiefs Super Bowl rematch of Super Bowl 1.
That'd have been nuts. Would have been absolutely insane.
And again, the Packers did beat Kansas City last year, so one of the few teams that did. So it's crazy. It's crazy how it is.
I feel like it was all set up kind of because, how does Baltimore run the ball and do all these things the whole season to get there? They go against the Chiefs. They stop running the ball. They try to make Lamar force passes in a double coverage. He's got wide open lanes. He could run for 10 yards. He doesn't do it. He forces passes in a double cut. I'm like, what is going on here? This was Baltimore should have spanked them and been in the Super Bowl, but we got over here. They went away from their whole game plan. Like, you went all the way away from it. I couldn't believe that happened. It was absolutely insane to me. Like, you literally just beat the Texans running and defense doing its job. You went into KC and you didn't do any of it. Your running back ran 5 times and averaged 6 yards each carry. You just go away from that? Just, he ain't doing that good.
So, who in the AFC scares you the most? Obviously, Kansas City's up there because they're the defending Super Bowl champions. Although their schedule looks like the NFL doesn't want them to repeat, but
that is crazy. Well, they're actually mid, but the beginning of their schedule is rough. It is rough. KC, Baltimore's always a threat. Burrow and the Bengals, depending on what happens there. And I think there's a lot of questions because Zach Moss as a running back, Burrow injury prone or not, T. Higgins, if he starts feeling tight or cramping, is he going to play through those injuries in a money year, or is he going to keep himself protected so he can get signed? You got a lot of questions there with Cincy. The Texans, the shit they did on this offseason, absolutely insane. No. See, finesse. Don't bring your shit over here and say I was wrong until it happens. Because what happened? We were on a show, and that night Indiana went out and blew the doors out of the Knicks. And then the next time, Brunson did everything he had to make sure you guys won that game. I give it to y'all. Y'all won that game. If you guys beat Indy, cool, you guys won. But I'm telling you, I think it goes 7, and I still think Indy wins. I like the Knicks. Don't get me wrong. I like the Knicks. I don't know. I hope they're healthy when they face Boston. What up, Bobby?
What's up, Bobby G? Friend of the program as well. Yeah, I'm with you there. I want to see it go 7-2. So, just because.
Oh yeah, I think that's the best series. The best series right now, because Dallas looks like the OKC thing's done. Denver, I think, seals the deal tonight. That the beast has been awoke. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
Done. They said, we're like they're like.
I would at least like to see Game 7 if we go out. Kudos to Dallas. They played great. This is a very young Thunder team, the second youngest team in the NBA. The fact that they made it this far, I'm proud of them. And we got 9 first-round picks in the next 3 years.
Listen,
let that sink in.
That is the only reason why I picked them to leave in the second round, is because of their inexperience, their youth. That is the only reason. They have a hell of a team, and they will be back next year. They will be great, and they will do their thing. And yes, they got 1 million picks. 1 million picks. It's insane. And Garland, he asked about Garland. I'm with Bobby.
We kind of talked about Garland earlier, how you feel like he's getting traded somewhere, maybe
Garland's
to Detroit.
Gone. Yeah, me and Bobby talked about this. Yeah, with Cade would be one, Ingram. I don't think Mitchell's leaving. He's not leaving until trade deadline. It's not happening over the summer unless someone comes at us and throws all sorts of crazy shit. Like the Lakers said they got a deal. I don't want nobody on the Lakers besides LeBron and Anthony Davis. I don't want not a piece from the Lakers unless they're going to give us their next 7th first-round picks. I don't want nothing to do with that. And the Nets, I'm not even a big fan of what they do. Garland for who? Well, I like Brandon Ingram. I like that. I like Cade Cunningham. Bobby G brought that up before. I like Cade Cunningham. Use Garland in our first this year. Go get Cade Cunningham from Detroit. And, yeah, that's a whole nother reason. Mitchell's the maturity. I think Garland has something to do with that. I think he does. That's why I think he'll be all right. I think Mitchell will be all right staying here. Because there's other speculations going around right now saying that he's ready to sign an extension. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's back and forth.
Yeah, and then there's also going to be the talk of, where could Kevin Durant end up somewhere else? Is LeBron going to actually stay in LA? What's going to happen with that? I'll tell you where Kevin Durant is probably not going to go. Oklahoma City. He ain't coming back. Because I know damn sure nobody in the city wants him back.
Mobley, after what he's done in this past series and what he's continued to do in the playoffs, they're going to keep him unless they get some crazy offer. If he plays like that and continues to grow, put some more lean muscle on, I'm happy with it. Yeah, see, there it is. Garland's out. That's why Rich Paul is at the game. Garland's out. LeBron's in.
Oof. Right. Oh, Jesus. You want Bronny too while you're at it? Get him to Cleveland?
I'll tell you right now, he's the best looking guy at the NBA Combine. I mean, I'm not going to be mad about it. You take him a couple years to.
I was going to say, does Cleveland even have a lottery pick this year, or is it still just their normal spot?
We got the 20th.
Yeah, because I know I think we have the 12th that we got from Houston, or from one of those first round picks, one of those 20 teams. LeBron recruiting Garland to the Lakers.
LeBron don't want Garland. He saw how he shit the bed. LeBron wants nothing to do with Garland. Trust me, he wants nothing to do with him. It's like what he's gonna. Garland is a younger D'Angelo Russell right now in my eyes. But what the hell does he want to do with that?
Right.
Garland he's inconsistent.
So I got to bring this up. I know you're not much into baseball, but the Guardians have been probably one of the better surprise teams in baseball this year. Everybody who knows me knows that on the baseball show, I have a love-hate relationship with the Cleveland Guardians because I picked them to be in the World Series last year, and they completely shit the bed. Yeah. Thankfully, it was offset by my Texas Rangers winning a World Series, so I'm not as mad. But now the discussion is, was I a year off? Because now it seems like the Guardians' offense has started to wake up a little bit. Shane Bieber's not there with him being hurt, but these young guns in the pitching rotation have been solid, except for McKenzie, because Lord knows Sam hates his guts. Shout out to Mr. First Down if you're watching. How you feel about the Guardians this year?
Listen, it blew my mind when they started the way they did. They were top of the MLB. They were doing all this stuff. I'm like, holy shit, what is happening here? And then started hitting reality a little bit. Bieber was early, and you're like, man, how can we do this now? And young guns keep stepping in, like you're saying. And then you got Stephen Kwan. He's out with a little bit of an injury. Like, all right, how can we continue to do this? And it's next man up for these dudes. It's like they're finally doing something that Tito didn't do. Tito kept putting in veterans. He would never put in the youngins. And it's like, hold on, man, put these young dudes, bring them up, put them in, get them in now. I mean, because they're going to sit down there, get them in here now so we know what they can do. And they've all stepped up. And what's crazy is they were doing all this without the home run ball. It was contact hitting. And then Jose wasn't really hitting, and then bam, now he's starting to hit. Now he's right along with them all doing it. I think Bo Naylor needs a little more, but I think once Bo comes around, it's a whole nother thing too. Because he's been striking out a lot. He's trying to hit the long ball. He needs to get in the groove of the contact.
Let's say Josh Naylor's been hitting pretty well this year.
Oh yeah, see, Josh does his thing. Bo, let your brother Josh do the long ball. You get on base, hit your doubles, hit your triple. You do that. If you feel like you can rip one, great, but don't feel like that every at bat. I mean, and yeah, they did blowing my mind. It's what we just faced you guys the last series, right?
Mm-hmm. Took two of three from Texas.
Yeah, see, I mean, then those series before that was the White Sox, and I think we only won one game out of 4 or something, I think. I'm like, man, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say, in fairness to us, we have 13 players on IL, which that's like half our entire rotation is on IL. So thankfully we have an off day today, so we get to rest up before we play the Angels here coming up. And it also helps that the Astros are trash this year. Even though
that pitcher just got nailed, suspended. He had substance in his mitt or his glove. Like, wow, dude.
It's like this is typical Astros. You never know what you're gonna get with them. Mostly cheating, but who knows? I know I know I don't like talking about this team, but because they are the Yankees, they are the brand in baseball. Juan Soto has completely changed the mentality of that Yankee core, or at least I feel like he has, because they lost as soon as they lost Garrett Cole. The mindset of everybody was this team is going to be trash. But then Juan Soto comes in, starts playing like he is. He right now is the front runner for AL MVP.
Oh yeah, he looks amazing, and he's doing it like he's just like it's nothing. Like it's just natural. He's just out there doing it. Yeah, they're still there, Bobby. They're still there. But yeah, they're damn City Connect unis. I want that hat. I like that hat a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
I was shocked how they brought the City Connects. But the Yankees are going to do the Yankee things. They highest paid people in baseball, biggest salary. That, me and my boy Beer Cave, we talked about this. This whole salary cap situation where there really isn't any, but there needs to be a floor. Like the Indians roster is only 30. The Yankees is like 200 mil or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have a floor where it's 60.
They basically gave Juan Soto the entire payroll of the Oakland Athletics.
If you go below 60 for 2 years, you got to sell the team. You can't go below 60. Like in baseball, that needs to happen. There's too many teams that will always stay down there because the owners don't want to spend the money when they could just keep bringing people in and doing whatever else and make money other ways, jack up the concessions and shit. And that's what sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's the way it is. Moneyball, yeah, pretty much.
Moneyball, yeah. Well, the A's did that. It worked. Great, cool. That's it. It's not gonna happen no more. I mean, the Indians are doing it now because they're not paying nobody nothing. We're gonna see what happens at the trade deadline. Maybe they will be buyers. Maybe they actually go do something. But with this owner, because I think he's got this year, and then after that he's gone because the team was sold.
Mm-hmm.
So, or the majority of it was sold. So maybe they see it. I don't know.
Yeah, the A's went from Moneyball to now being the Major League movie, the real life incarnation of the Major League movie, because the owner's crap. They don't want to be in Oakland anymore. All of a sudden now the A's are actually playing halfway decent this year. They're still under 500, but they still won more. They have more wins than they probably had all of last year at this point. So at least they're trying. But yeah, that's weird. And then of course baseball wants to expand. They want to get another team, maybe in Nashville, maybe a team. They obviously want to move the A's to Vegas, which Vegas doesn't want that now. And I'm sure Bobby can weigh in on that too. So
I don't know why not. Hey, Ronald, listen, I get that. And that's the problem. That's why you got to force these owners to actually spend money. Like there has to be that floor that make them actually spend money so the team's worth it. And I know they're not all fans and stuff. That's a whole nother issue. And that sucks for the league, because you got so many teams that are just down. Tampa Bay's one of those teams that's got an owner like that. The A's, the Indians. I mean, I'm sure the Royals are probably one of them. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
It took us getting rid of the guy that kind of caused the mess in the first place in John Daniels, although he did make some decent moves for us. It took us getting John Daniels out, bringing Chris Young in, getting that baseball mind back in the clubhouse to be like, okay, now we're cooking with something.
Yeah.
So, and we said it last year on the baseball show. The biggest offseason acquisition last offseason was Bruce Bochy becoming the manager for the Texas Rangers, because that turned
hell of a coach.
that turned a young, inexperienced team of potential stars into World Series champions.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, last topic we'll discuss. Let's go to Ohio, let's go to college. Ohio State in the new look Big Ten, which now you got your USC's, your UCLA's coming over. I have not seen the schedule. I'm sure you kind of know what the Ohio State schedule kind of looks like. Mm-hmm. What are you excited for this season for the Buckeyes?
I'm excited to beat Michigan's ass. That's going to happen. I mean, I Wolverine fans are still so hype about that team, and I think it changes. I mean, now they got the coach that cried on TV, and that's funny to me. But Michigan's still going to have a good run game, whatever. But I think, dude, our whole team is stacked beyond belief. Secondary, wide receivers. I mean, quarterbacks for the next who knows how many years. Day's got to get the job done this year, though. I mean, I love that, USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, they all came over. I enjoy that and love that. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to face Oregon. I don't think we got them this year. I think we got USC this year and UCLA.
You are at Oregon this year.
This year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, shit. Maybe
you got Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall, Michigan State, Iowa, Oregon, Nebraska, Penn State, Purdue, Northwestern, Indiana, and Michigan.
All right. See, it wasn't. We don't got USC. Mm-hmm. So, hey, listen, that Oregon game is going to be huge because if you could take down Oregon early, it separates you from a lot because then you got the rest of the damn Big Ten we can go through.
Not to mention Michigan has to host Texas, so.
Yeah, they got to host Texas, and then I think they deal with. Don't they got like Washington and USC? They got a couple of them.
They got Fresno State, Texas, Arkansas State, USC, Minnesota, Washington, Illinois, Michigan State, Oregon, Indiana, Northwestern, Ohio State.
See, they got a tough schedule.
That's a rough one.
Tough. I mean, that Texas game being early is good for them because they could try to bounce back from that and hopefully win out and then face us.
I think they got Texas this year and then they got Oklahoma next year. Michigan does.
Well,
I do believe we play Michigan in the home and home starting next year.
Let's see. It's good stuff right there. Because we used to have to go do all this, and Michigan never did anything. We did it with Oklahoma when V-Tech was good. We did it with them. I mean, I don't know. That's good stuff, though. I mean, college football is going to be great, I think. The fact that Saban stepped down, I think that opens up a lot. Because, again, the SEC is the SEC, but Alabama's not going to be some crazy team now. Like, that's a lot of things changed there. But, yeah, I feel like it's a...
Which Pac-12 newcomer do you think has the best shot to have success in the Big Ten?
Oregon.
Oregon?
Yeah. I like Oregon. I think they'll always be that team. It'll be that, they'll always be there. They're always going to be in the top 10. They're going to be up there. I think they'll be the team. I mean, Washington's Washington, but, I mean, they just lost their coach, too. So who knows what really happens there. USC is, I don't know, man. I've never been a big believer in USC more recently. Like, I'm not a big fan of Caleb at all, by any means. Mentally, I think the dude's going to get destroyed the minute he has a bad game. But, yeah, Oregon. They got Dylan Gabriel as quarterback right now. That coach over there, he left Georgia and went over there and installed a whole game plan that just changed that program.
Mm-hmm. Made Bo Nix look pretty good.
Dude, I love Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is going to do good in Denver. They went and drafted Troy Franklin, his top receiver from Oregon, to come there with him. So he has rapport with somebody at least. I think Sean Payton's going to know how to use him, and I think he's going to have some good success over there in Denver.
I honestly think Jaden Daniels was the best quarterback drafted.
I think Jaden's going to be good too. I just hope they don't use him like they did RG.
They did RG3, yeah. If they do that,
That's the big issue because Jaden loves running.
Mhm.
He's got to understand this isn't college no more. You're going to get killed. You get killed out here.
Mhm. We'll do that's the previous question, but we'll do it for the SEC. Which Big 12 newcomer, Texas or Oklahoma, could have a best year in the SEC?
I mean, Texas looks like they're just right there.
That Texas team is pretty stacked. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like admitting that. I hate anything Burton.
I was about to say that's hard for you to say.
It is so hard for me to say. Like,
Yeah, they're
literally and I said this when we did our fantasy draft last year. The only Texas player I'll ever draft in a fantasy setting is Justin Tucker. That's the only Texas player I'll ever draft is Justin Tucker because he's got a damn good leg, and I need.
That boy's got a hell of a leg. But yeah, it's got to be Texas. I mean, Oklahoma. I don't know who stepped up to be the quarterback this year because
it is the Jackson Arnold, who was the number 2 recruit behind Arch Manning, who's in Texas.
All right. So I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to see what you got there. If he really is that, then
there is a transfer we got from Purdue that I really, really love. I don't know if you know Deion Burks, I believe his name is. Yeah, he looked really, really good in the spring game. I'm like, oh, this could be interesting.
And then the fact that both you guys are going in there and Bama looks like they're going to be down and other SEC teams look down. I mean, you got Georgia. Georgia's going to be Georgia for.
I think we got the easier part of the schedule, if I'm being honest, because we got Temple, Houston, Tulane. That's whatever. Tennessee coming off of losing Joe Milton at home. Auburn's kind of eh. They have a good running game. That's about it. They have a decent defense too in Auburn. So Texas, South Carolina's kind of been blown up a little bit. Who knows what they're going to be? Ole Miss is going to be a tough road game. Yeah. They gave us our late game SEC cupcake when we had to play Maine, and then the last 3 at Missouri, which is the old Big 12 rivalry. Alabama coming into Norman, and then the one game I'm dreading the most at the end of the year at LSU.
Yeah, Death Valley.
Death Valley's gonna suck.
And it's shitty that that's a game that may hinge.
If Oklahoma's good this year, that could make or break them as far as SEC and playoff position is concerned. Now that there's a 12-team playoff, so
there's 12. So you got to think, man, this is wide open now. Wide the hell open. And it's going to be insane because you could pretty much just put your finger on a lot of teams. Like I could pick 4 out of the SEC. I could pick 4 out of the Big 10. The 12. God, who knows who's coming out of the Big 12?
And I mean, you're obviously going to get the group of 5 rep, which I think is now like group of 6, whatever it is now. So it's probably going to come from the American most likely.
Yeah.
And then, you still have to throw Notre Dame in there, which we found out that even if Notre Dame's the number 1 team in the country, because they're not a conference champion, they're still going to be the 5 seed.
Yeah, they'll still drop. Yeah.
So.
Well, hey, that's their fault. They got to join the Big Ten how many damn times? Or the ACC where they play basketball how many times?
I mean they had look at it. The 1 year they were in the ACC because of COVID, won the ACC title, got into the playoff.
Oh, but they didn't want to do that ever again. Like, you know what? We did it once. We're done.
We're Notre Dame. We don't care.
That's
money talks, as they say. Money talks.
It's their fault. They can sit there all by themselves.
Since I know you're in that area, what do you think of Cincinnati so far in the Big 12?
Football-wise, I guess it's going to be all right because I think, if they get a decent football team together, I think they could fight through some stuff. Basketball-wise, I love it. because I love Big 12 basketball. They got some teams that you just don't think of. You know, TCU
And
being
now
the
you're going to
team,
have Arizona, Colorado,
Colorado, but Arizona State I think's in there too. Who else?
Arizona State, yep, Utah.
Utah. See, now that's huge. Utah's the team that's coming out of the Big 12 for sure. But I love Rising. I love Cam Rising. That dude.
Mhm.
God, I wish he would have played last year and didn't get injured because I think that would have made a world of difference.
Mhm. Well, we're down to our final two questions. I know you got to bounce here pretty soon, but got the final two questions I want to ask you. What is your favorite sports moment of all time that you either witnessed live or you knew exactly where you were when it happened?
Well, you know, I guess I could say Cavs winning the championship. I mean, that was just huge. That whole 90 seconds. To me, that was the chase down block, Kyrie's shot, and Love's defense. I mean, that's just something, at least I got to see a championship, I mean, I had the Indians. I was there with the Indians twice, and they couldn't finish off the Marlins, and then they, they lost to the Braves, the best pitching rotation ever. But I don't know, yeah.
Sam. What's up, Sam?
What's going on, Sam?
Our other resident Guardians fan here in the LTS network.
It's crazy how he's a Guardians fan being down in Tennessee, but I guess you don't got nothing else
He's
to
Guardians, Titans, Pacers.
That's even crazier. He hit all the states around. Hit them all.
Hit them all. Yeah.
But yeah, I got to feel the Cavs winning that championship was huge. I mean, I got newspapers and magazines and stuff from that stored away and stuff. So that was a big, huge moment. I mean, I'll give you a negative moment is when they took the Browns away. Like that tore me up. I was young, but I was loving football was my thing, and they took it away. And I became a Chargers fan when they were gone because of Junior Seau and all of them. And LaDainian Tomlinson became one of my favorite players ever. And I'm like, all right, so now I secretly root for the Chargers unless we're playing them. But yeah.
Yeah, I almost didn't become a Cowboys fan starting out. I was gonna follow the Rams when they were, back when they were the greatest show on turf. They won the Super Bowl in '99. I was real little, but then along came this man called Tom Brady. I don't know if you've heard of him. Kind of squashed that dream, and somehow ended up being a Cowboy fan. So just the fact that we beat Tom in his last game, I'll take that as a kind of a win-win.
There you go. Dak showed out in that playoff game. He needs to do that, a lot more. But see, that's something that's a great story. Now why are you a Pacer fan though?
He became a Pacer fan last year.
Oh, Little Hallie Burton did it.
Halliburton, when he was doing, he said he was doing research for picking the teams. The one thing that intrigued him was the mouse at the Palace, so that kind of swayed him a little bit.
Oh, that's huge. The mouse. Listen, I remember that whole thing happening. It was funny. The guy that threw that drink pointed to the dude next to him, and that dude got stomped, and the guy that really threw the drink left. I was like, how the hell? Didn't have no replay back then, though.
No. Of course, every time I bring this question up, mine is always either the Rangers World Series win last year, Game 1, especially when Seager tied that game up. I was like, yeah, we're pretty much done. We've won this series at this point. Yeah. So, and then the one I always bring up, the two I always bring up actually for both Oklahoma games. The comeback win in 2019 against Baylor, we're down 23, and Jalen leads them back. Jalen Hurts leads them back, and we get the go ahead field goal, and then the pick six by I believe it was Nick Benito. that got the game sealing interception there at the end. The one I always love talking about. I didn't actually see this live, but I knew exactly where I was when it happened. The 2013 Sugar Bowl. A makeshift ragtag Oklahoma team against the mighty Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
When you still had Amari Cooper was still there, Derrick Henry was still there, Landon Collins was still there. They had, it was an all-star basically lineup in Alabama. A lot of people thought they should have been in the national championship game that year.
Yeah.
And we ended up beating them 45-35 because Trevor Knight became a one-game wonder and threw 5 touchdown passes against Alabama's defense.
Lit him up.
And then the next season he gets benched for Baker Mayfield. So there you go. What is your favorite TV show of all time?
Favorite TV show?
Mm-hmm.
Man. One that I can rewatch over and over again is The Sopranos. I'm a big mafia person. Love all the Godfathers. Every mob movie I could watch over and over again. But Sopranos was a huge show. I love that show.
Mm-hmm. That is, I believe, the most picked one is The Sopranos, Breaking Bad. Those are like the 2 big ones that people have chosen. So, I mean, I kind of agree with you there. I didn't see The Sopranos much, but that was like my dad's favorite show when I was living with him. So, I did get to see bits and pieces of that show a little bit. So, yeah, Mike, thank you for joining me first and foremost. It was awesome having you on tonight. Tell the people where they can find you at and what you got coming up.
Well, look, you can find me right here. So YouTube's right next to my name at the Man Cave 8172. That's also our Instagram, on X, Twitter, whatever the hell name you want to give it right now, at the Man Cave 10, and then TikTok at the Man Cave 10. I do a lot of stuff every morning on there. I blow that thing up like no other. And I'm on shows every day, it seems like. Tonight, again, 8 o'clock, brand new show, Off the Rails, me and Beer Cave. It'll turn into a fantasy show when football comes more, and it'll stay fantasy with basketball and baseball, but we're going to start it now and get it rolling. Cheap seats, 4 to 6 on Saturday. The Old Man and the Kid, that's me and my son and some of his buddies. We do a show at noon on Sunday. Sports Madness is now on Tuesday, 6 to 8. And then Relax Wednesdays every so often. And I'm always on with Bobby G every Wednesday, the AFC North show.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he'll be making appearances on LTS throughout the football season as well. So definitely keep an eye out for that.
All around.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I
guys,
appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, definitely. And you're always welcome back for sure.
All right.
So, but yeah, thank you, Big Mike, for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I know this isn't our normal Saturday slot, but hey, we make do for our guests. So we loved having Mike on today. Definitely gonna invite him back at some point, maybe during football season. Maybe have you, Bobby G, preview Cowboys Browns once Week 1 rolls around.
Hey, I'm all for it.
I'm down for that. So definitely look out for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Great rest of your week. We'll be back next week. Until then, love y'all. Stay safe. Take care. Have a great night.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.